Okay. So real quickly again, we're an official group under CNCF and Kubernetes project, and as such follow the code of conduct. As such, are basically be good, be nice. And I don't have that link handy, but easy to find if you search for it. All right. I linked the document in the chat. I'll do that again. If you would like to, add your name to the list of attendees. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. And with that, I'll to start off, lead updates, not a lot really directly from the leads. Just want to point out that the site went live on the 6th, coinciding with the birthday party celebration. So that site is now up. It's been reviewed by a few people. If you take a look through there, if you see any issues, please raise those, get those corrected. One thing that's kind of a placeholder there right now is the CFP for the event. So we do need to decide next steps on that and when to get that going, but we can do that under the content session. That's all I think I have as far as lead updates. So I will hand it over to, let's see. Yeah, Janelle, great. Any updates for you?
Hey everyone, happy Monday. My only update is just to reiterate that the reg site is now live. We've got a couple people registered. So those of you, if you know, on the planning committee, if you haven't registered yet, go ahead and do that so you have it knocked out and you're on there. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to me. But that is all I have right now. If there's any needs regarding the planning doc, I did make updates to that last week. So if there's any questions or needs there, please let me know. And then I will work with the reg team and figure out when we want to start our normal cycle of approvals.
So are we advertising registration now? Has that been handed off to comms?
It has been handed off to comms, and I talked to Kathleen on Thursday, and she wants to send out also the communication. But I think that no, Kathleen is not in the meeting. Yeah, we talked about it that she will start sending out first communication this week.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. Once you guys start promoting it, I'll keep an eye on the reg numbers and we'll start the approval process.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah. Josh, you want to talk about apps?
Yeah. So I'll be convening our team online this week, which is me, Ray, and Carlos. And one of the initial things that we're going to be trying to do the cycle is we're going to start soliciting for ops volunteers really right away. There's no particular reason to wait for that, and waiting until people's registration was confirmed last time resulted in not having quite enough volunteers. So I'm hoping that collecting probables and then following up on those will have a better result, and we'll find that out with this particular summit, if that works. One question I have for Janelle here was, earlier on you said that there were a couple of other events on Monday, but then you said that we'd basically have the convention center to ourselves. And so I'm trying to figure that out.
It's because we have multiple venues. So we have the Salt Palace Convention Center. We also have space at the Hyatt, which is connected to the convention center. So KCS is, as of right now, and I don't think this is going to change, but KCS will be at the convention center. On Monday, there is also another event taking place, and potentially one more, but that's all still in flux. So there's potentially up to 2 right now events also taking place on Monday. But those are both going to be at the Hyatt, so they won't be interfering with the space that KCS will have at the convention center.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue for us to share some part of the convention center with other ones. It's just, you know, we want to be able to control our own space and not be a hallway for other events, because that makes it very
Totally
hard,
get that.
yeah, to manage who's there.
Yes. Yeah, totally get that.
So okay, good. So
Yeah, so as of right now, the only attendees accessing event space on Monday in the Salt Palace will be KCS.
okay. One thing I want to request that has been done for some KCSs in the past, was some of the previous staff have been able to do a video walkthrough of the space when the event staff actually inspects the convention venue. If there's any way we could do that now, it's very helpful for our planning. So I wanted to make that request.
Yeah, you want just like kind of like me to create a video walkthrough the next time I'm there of the
Yeah.
KCS space and what that looks like.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
be happy to do that when for sure.
Yeah, because there's stuff that's not on the interactive map, right? Like the interactive map does not actually show you where the escalators are. So,
yeah.
Yep. And so the more we know about the physical
I'll
space,
add
the more we
to
can plan ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I get it. Yeah, no, for sure. Happy to do that. The next site visit for our team is in July, middle of July. So I'll get that video created when we're there. I'll add it to my list.
Cool. Thanks.
You got it.
Our other job during this period for the ops team is to build out the role handbook, because we have a lot of different kinds of volunteers for ops, and those are largely don't have written documentation. So we're going to try to fix that in advance of the actual event. Because we actually know what volunteers we have and what they need to do. So we just need to have sort of comprehensive written documentation for all those people. Sandeep?
Yes, sure. Just one thing to add, like the Chicago CubeCon, it was not very accessible because going from one end of the CubeCon to another end of the meeting room was very challenging for people on wheelchair. So we may want to do something this time.
Okay. Yeah, this time we will be all in one level, which will help.
Yeah.
This venue also doesn't have quite as many up and downs as Chicago did, so you won't experience the same level of just, that constant like up and down between those levels. And then it is for the Salt Palace is 3 levels, but the majority of meeting rooms are on level 1 and level 2, and then there's a few on level 3. So it'll be mostly navigating between those 2, but they have a lot of elevators, which is really helpful.
Yeah. Sandeep, would you be available to just be the ops volunteer for accessibility and to bring up other issues like this?
I'm not really sure, but if it gets finalized, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
I will say one thing. I think it was just shared with a few people, but the map of where the event is going to be, at least from the very basic block diagram of the rooms, it looks like this one should be pretty well contained compared to some of the last few ones. So hoping it works out well. All right, anything more, Josh, on ops? All right, then let's move on to content. Nitish, anything else? I know we need to talk about opening the CFP. Anything else to bring up first?
Wait, well,
Oh.
one thing real quick, just a request for the team. I'm having trouble finding the volunteer spreadsheets for Chicago and Paris. So if somebody can actually drop me links to those, that would be great.
I think I can go next. So seeing we do not have a specific updates, although all the shadows have gone through the role books and retro meeting docs, and we have figured out what are the improvement that needs to be taken in consideration for KCSNA this time as compared to the previous one. However, we are once we have figured out the date, I mean approximation of when do we want to release the CFP forms, I think we'll be in a good situation to produce major updates. So I think this is something that we need to figure out from couple of last meetings.
I think last time, didn't we try to open the CFP a little bit earlier? I think Chicago, we waited a little while, if I remember right, and then it seemed like we thought that might have limited the number of submissions that we got. Basically, is there any reason why we shouldn't try to get the CFP open as soon as we have everything, have the forms in place? Kind of a general question, so any opinions from anyone?
Sorry, could you repeat that real quick, Sean?
Sorry, yeah, I think last event we tried to open the CFP period a little sooner because the time before, I think Chicago, we waited a little while and we were a little concerned that limited amount of time maybe had limited the number of submissions that we got. I don't think there was any issue with opening CFP earlier rather than waiting. So is there any reason we shouldn't try to get the CFP started like today if we had the submission form available?
I see hands up, so I'll defer to Bob and Josh.
Yeah, I think Bob, you were first.
Yeah. We did open the CFP too late. It was sometime last year. I don't really see a reason why the CFP shouldn't be opened early. The one thing is trying to actually close it soon enough, so that way people can still make travel plans or adjustments. And I know some people use the contributor summit as a business justification to actually attend. So we just want to make sure that we kind of get it in those bounds, and then have leave the rest to unconference or something. Or at least that's my suggestion.
Yeah, and so my perspective is that we should open the CFP as soon as we possibly can, by which I mean say next week. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is I know that some SIGs already have things they want to propose. And so let's go ahead and capture that as soon as we can. And the second reason is it is summertime. People are taking vacations at different times. So we want to have that CFP open for as broad a window as possible, so that if some of our European colleagues are taking the entire month of August off, they have a chance to propose something in July and vice versa. Plus we have copies of all the forms and everything. I don't know what would hold it up.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And looking at Nitish, what you posted for Chicago around mid-September, it looks like September 13th is a Friday. Seems like maybe a good closing point for the CFP. So should we try to get it open by early next week? If not this week, if it's possible, and go until mid-September? Just throwing out ideas.
That
Makes
sounds good to
sense.
me.
I'm muted. Sorry. I think the most important thing is that we make sure that the CFP is still open when notifications for KubeCon go out, and stays open for a couple of more weeks after the notifications of KubeCon have gone out, so that people that might have been rejected at KubeCon, but as Bob said, still need to convince their folks that they still can do it. And the good thing is, I think notifications for KubeCon go out in August things.
I'm
Right.
looking it up right now.
I think it's August 6th. Okay,
Oh.
August 12th.
Announcements August 14th.
So the mid-September date would be perfect then.
Yeah, agreed. Then let's basically fix it now.
What's the waitlist notification date for KubeCon?
I don't think there is an official wait list.
Oh,
At
is
least
there
wait
not?
list date.
Okay.
There was a wait list for the co-located events last for Paris, and to be honest, I wouldn't wait for this because I got my notification basically 3 weeks before KubeCon. So yeah, open it up either this week or next week. And then we will basically have it until the September day that Sean basically said, and then we will update the website accordingly. And this time we will write the closing date on the website because I think this is what we forgot in Paris.
I just want to ask one thing. The last time when we've had the CFP form, I think we mentioned a lot of details that that access to having your talk accepted to Kubernetes Contributor Summit does not guarantee that you does not guarantee a pass to KubeCon. However, as a content team shadow, we noticed that although we selected a lot of talks, those were pretty not able to make it to the conference due to certain reasons, and we had to convert those sessions to unconference. I think which was not even able to do that. So we had some of the rooms that were left as well. So I'm just confirming, are there any specific things that folks think that we should be mentioning in the CFP form, apart from what has already been mentioned previously, as something extra or something that needs to be removed?
Yeah, my suggestion would be multiple rounds of confirmation, basically. So if somebody's submitting something really early, then you go through things that will get multiple rounds of confirmation where you have communication with the speakers. So, and not even things some things we ask them to respond, but other times where you're just providing them with updated information. Because if somebody gets an email from the KCS about their session, and they've actually been told that they have no travel funding, when they get that email, they're going to be like, oh, whoops, I forgot. I meant to get in touch with you. So we just sort of have continuous contact with the speakers where they're getting something from us every couple of weeks, just an update on the KCS or whatever, then we're less likely to be surprised by people canceling out. One other thing I was going to raise for the whole group was, in the past, we have had a member of the content team specifically assigned to running the unconference. And we haven't been able to do that for a couple of KubeCons for staffing reasons. But it's definitely sort of hurt the value of the unconference not to have somebody assigned to that. Do we want to make that a priority this time? Do we think we can recruit somebody to be just in charge of the unconference?
I would try.
I mean, we can try, but my personal opinion is that we will have more staffing problems for Salt Lake City than for any other KCS in the past.
Okay.
So first priority, I would say having people on site as much as possible as we need for ops, and then we can take the luxury folks.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
This is a slightly different topic. This kind of got mentioned just now in passing. Out of curiosity, why don't we give KubeCon tickets to people who are speakers at the Contributor Summit? Like, I know we don't, but like, why?
Most of them are coming, like there is some flexibility. There's usually just a small stuff set aside. But broadly, most of them are coming from big corps that have their own discount code and things like that. And it's not something, you know, we don't want people to try and game the system or just try and like, I'm going to submit a whole bunch of stuff to the Kubernetes Contributor Summit, banking on that for a pass.
I think it's also just a general cost thing
Yeah.
in that the cost of Contrib Summit is already currently at over $1,000 a head. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think the event costs somewhere around $200,000 to run with 200 attendees, and if they were doing free, and I know that CNCF is trying to limit that, so I imagine that's a factor as well.
Yeah, like we should encourage people to apply for the maintainer scholarship. Like that is the official route for anyone that is attending KubeCon. So like, or at least that's the route that we try and push everyone towards.
And that's actually a good reason to get the CFP open sooner rather than later also, because then somebody who's applying for the maintainer scholarship can say, I submitted this thing to the KCS also. That's one of the reasons why they should get the scholarship. So.
And in the past, the scholarship hadn't been used that much, as far as I know, right?
Oh no, well, for the Kubernetes Contributor Summit, yes, but like for the scholarship, like they had over 1,000 people apply for I think it was 200 slots, or might have been there. I think it was like 100 fully funded slots, and then others that were like if you need just like some travel support.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted some context because I didn't know.
And then I think we have a plan for the CFP. Any other questions or anything else, Nitish?
Not from my side. So we have got the direction, and probably before the next meeting, we'll try to have the CFP forms already up and try to make sure that the CFPs are opened. So yeah, we're good to go.
Great, thanks. Then comms, Arvind?
Yeah, hey everyone. Arvind this side. I'll be giving the updates for comms because Kathleen has a work conflict meeting every alternate Monday. So we have basically set up a schedule where Shadows will be giving the updates when Kathleen is not around. Also, we have put together a planning doc, which I've come to know is a new thing for the comms process. So this planning doc basically outlines all the emails and the socials that need to go out, uh, and the folks can basically assign themselves, the shadows can assign themselves which email they would be writing when they would go out and the reviewers. So Kathleen has basically asked me to talk about this experience since it's the first time. I think it really helps. So there are total 12 emails that need to go out over the course of KCS. And I think just assigning shadows and knowing exactly which email you need to write is a great help, I think, since we are 5 shadows. So I think this we can carry out for the future contributor summits as well. If any one of you have any thoughts on that. Okay, cool. Another thing is regarding the email that was to go out for the announcement and call of social lead. It has gone through the initial round of reviews. Kathleen has put together the email, and we were basically planning to write about the law in Utah in the website, sorry, in the email itself. But Josh suggested that we should put the information in the website. So since the website is now up, Kathleen will put together the email and link to the website regarding the Utah law, and it will be ready for review today. And basically, us shadows will be reviewing it, and it should go out this week. That's the update on the first email. Since we are planning to open the CFPs early, the next email is also save the date plus CFP email. Should that go out next week as well?
Yeah, I think so. As soon as we have that CFP open, I think it'd be great to get that out and publicize it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, these are the updates, if any of you have any questions.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Is there anything to discuss about social? What's your plan, Brant?
Great question. Great question. First step, figure it out. And then second step, let everyone know. So coming up to speed, I'm going to try to work my way through all of the admin pieces just behind the scenes. And then from there, try to understand the full scope in order to find out what step 1 looks like.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot for working on that. Yeah. James, anything on registration?
Hello. Just a couple of updates. As we mentioned, the registration site is live. We did do a bunch of testing. So we tested the different flows for that. All of us who are shadowing on registrations have access to the planning doc now. And we just have a couple of to-dos, which we need to verify a list of org members in the planning doc and wait for registrations to come in, of which 2 have already, which is good. And that's it for us, I think.
No, Arvind, I don't think. Is anyone covering the Kate's meet and greet updates right now?
I could do that. It's not much of an update. It's just more of we're still waiting for the space plan for the project pavilion. Then we could try to figure out a plan for to meet and greet there if possible. But first thing is just waiting for the plan.
Sounds good. Mars, any awards updates?
Yes, I got forms from Ray for last year. We just need to update those forms for this year, and we can start blasting people with requests to fill them out. So I think we will have deadline set up as end of July or maybe mid-August. Like 2 months is probably plenty for people to fill out the form. So let's see.
Can I ask a question there? Do we do awards every cycle? I don't remember awards in Paris.
It's every year in North America.
Thank you.
Okay, swag. Last time we talked about beanies. Does anybody have any updates or anything else on that?
This is still with me. I want to look up some vendors and how much they would cost. Oh, and we yeah, no, yeah, continue. Sorry.
Ray, you added a note?
Yeah, or just to remind folks to add their teams to the Summit Team email group. I just took a look at it this morning. There weren't that many folks in there.
And another topic that came just to my mind, we need to send out the call for a design for the t-shirt. So basically ping Craft the Natives and write it in the Summit channel.
I think if I remember right, didn't Josh kind of informally drive that the last few times?
I think this was basically leads and so in Paris it was definitely Xander. I think you brought it up if I remember correctly, and then we just posted it in the via comms. Yeah, so this would be something that comms could take with them.
Does that sound good, comms team? Can you raise that to get some attention for t-shirt designs? Oh, we can follow up later. Just want to make sure that someone's name is on that, just to have, so that someone's making sure that happens. Okay, anything else?
I just put on here, I think we should designate a scribe for planning calls, just so that notes like who, I think people tend to fill in things on their own, but that way nothing gets missed.
Yeah, no, some community meetings I've been on, there's usually someone that gets picked at the beginning of the call, so it's not always a designated person. We could probably.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, just so that it's not always on someone to be there and doing that. We can try to make sure that at the beginning of every call, we try to get someone to raise their hand, and usually someone is nice enough to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. I'll add it to the top of the template.
So, thanks. Yeah, that's a good idea. Can lose a lot of context if you don't get it captured. Okay, last call. Any other topics to discuss?
Brant, I put a note in the chat for you. What's your email? Can you drop it in there for me? Awesome, thanks.
Yes, I can.
All right, I'll stop the recording.